I'll admit it, I'll admit it. Watch your motherfucking tone, boy. Yeah, it hurt, boy. All here going on, motherfucker that don't understand the concept of putting money first, boy. I'm about to hit you with the work, boy.
What's up, YouTube? So this footage is a little bit late. I think this is actually from October 20th, 21st is when I started my training week. So about a week and a half old if you're watching this when I posted it. But yeah, I figured I'd give it to you guys anyways. I had some pretty good lifts this week. What you're seeing right here is a very close 265 triple on bench press, which would have been an all-time PR. It's certainly the closest I've ever tried 265 for a triple. I think my best ever took a 255 for a triple, so that felt pretty good. And this is actually a different bench that I've been using recently, so this is a bit lower to the ground, and I haven't been using my Olympic lifting shoes because I can't really get an arch at all. So I've just kind of worn my normal either Nanos or New Balance shoes to bench in, and it hasn't affected me too much. I actually like this bench a little bit more. It's not as slippery as the other one, but this is kind of soft, so kind of give or take there. But I still had a pretty good session on there with that 265 for a triple. If I remember that correctly, I kind of just misgrooved it. I actually think I'm strong enough, or at least I was strong enough that day. The technique was a little bit off, so happy about that really though. Squat for this week, for this past week anyways. This was my last warm-up set, and I ended up hitting 430 for a triple, which ties the PR for me, and even more than the actual weight, which is a very big weight for me at about 172 right now. So it's about 9 pounds down from when I originally hit this 430 for a triple. Really is my ability to stay upright in this set was, I was very, very happy about it. So normally, if you followed me for a while, you notice that I tend to, even on sub-maximal stuff, I'll tend to fall over a little bit. But you see on all three of these reps, and especially the last one, where it's a little bit grindy, I stay pretty upright. My hips don't kick back too much. And I kind of credit that to the cue I've been using a lot. And I normally, or I kind of, this cue hit home for me, is a good way to put it, during a high bar squat. And I'm actually trying to, maybe sounds a little bit weird with a low bar squat, but my cue was to kind of touch my ass to my Achilles tendon. And it's not like, oh, cool ass to grass squat, because I think that's kind of a stupid thing. I tell people all the time, you don't get extra credit for going ass to grass. But the cue for me, I'm obviously not going ass to grass in any of these squats, but the cue, what it does for me, is it allows me to keep my hips closer to the bar. And what I mean by closer to the bar, I mean closer to extended, right? So the further your hips go backwards, the further they have to go frontwards to finish the lift. So if I can keep my hips closer to extension throughout the entire lift, that's beneficial. And as you can kind of see on all of these sets, what it also does, it keeps me more upright. And what I kind of have to do to compensate for that is to shove my knees out a little bit more and allow more forward knee travel. So again, my cue for that really, and what helped me on that 430 triple, was to keep my glutes and my hips as close to extension or as close to the bar, however you want to think about it, as possible, and that allows me to keep my torso more upright. So kind of a little tidbit there if you think that's a beneficial cue for you. But like I said, I was very happy with that that set right there. Deadlifts the next day were god-awful, if I remember this correctly. There's a little bit of a combination of everything. I wasn't good this day, I wasn't incredibly motivated this day, and I couldn't even find clips to use on deadlifts. They were literally all being used in the gym at this time. So what I ended up just doing, I think I was supposed to pull triples here. What I ended up doing was just doing like 9 to 12 reps at 425 to 445. Now it's just pulling like a single, fixing the weight, taking a minute, pulling a single, fixing the weight, taking a minute. Because again, I didn't want to pull really for reps. I think I did some reps maybe at 425. I did like some doubles to get my volume in. So pretty much what I did was work up to a pretty heavy, what would have been probably a pretty heavy triple for me on this day, and just pulled it for the same amount of volume. I just didn't do triples. Instead I did like 3 sets of 1. And again, mainly because I didn't have clips and I just wasn't feeling great this day, so it allowed me to kind of sandbag it, but also get some work in. So you see me just kind of chilling right there. But yeah, deadlifts have kind of been up and up. It's just a little bit iffy here, especially with my belt too. I'm kind of in between a loop, which is weird for me. I'll actually talk about later in the video. I missed the squat. I don't have the footage of it, but I missed a 415 for 5. I missed it on the 5th rep. And I think it's because my belt was just too damn tight. So my belt is currently still where it is right now. I'm at 172. My belt is the same circumference is at 181, and it just feels much, much looser. But then when I came in a notch, I almost felt like I was kind of suffocating myself. So kind of in the middle of that. But we're working on it. And I think when I probably drop a few more pounds, I'll be able to make a more comfortable fit there. This was a little bit kind of a PR for me. So this was 255. This is my touch and go on my second bench press day. As you could tell right there, I was kind of talking over it, but you could tell I was hitting the rack on every single one of my reps on this bench press too. The J hooks or whatever you want to call it, you can kind of see here right under the weights. They're huge. They're like 2 or 3 inches deep. So it's very hard to get a good bench press position and not hit those, especially without someone like a lift off there. So I just kind of hit a triple, took a minute, reset, and hit this double right here, so I made sure I was in a better position. I might have hit it for 5, but I didn't want to hit those damn J hooks again and maybe miss or something. So I felt pretty good on this touch and go bench day. When I started my Blue Eyes programming, so I'm benching twice a week. Once is the emphasis is paused, and the other day the emphasis is touch and go. It felt very foreign to do touch and go. I probably haven't done it before last cycle in maybe 2 or 3 months at least, maybe even longer, maybe even 4 or 5, 6 months. I don't really remember, but it just felt very awkward. And my touch and go strength was like maybe 5 or 10 pounds above my pause because it's so weird. But now it's significantly stronger again after doing about 6 or 7 sessions, I would say. So yeah, it's feeling pretty good. I'm doing some long pause work after that. Then for my final session, no Olympic lifting this week. I was just kind of busy with school. We had a couple of big projects and exams and whatnot, so just stuck to the basics. This was actually one of my back off sets, so I think this is when my belt was fixed. My belt is a little bit is looser now. I wish I would have had those other clips to see kind of how I was suffocating, but it felt pretty uncomfortable. It was really kind of weird because my first 2 reps at 415 were very fast. But I was kind of like hit a wall with those squats. It may have just been like fatigue or whatnot, but to me it also had to do with not being able to get a good breath in very consistently. So maybe that's kind of a cue for me too. Maybe when I'm going for like very heavy stuff, like I anticipate maxing out on all the big 3 next week, then maybe I should move my belt in because it seems to help me a little bit, at least for max effort stuff. And then maybe for more repetitions, I should loosen up a bit. So there's some of the pause work here, and I think I just have some more squatting. I really have no idea what I was even doing here, but pretty good week overall. Again, that 430 triple squat was probably the highlight of my week. Bench press too. I didn't PR. Felt like I'm strong enough to PR, and dropping 9 pounds and holding on to my bench press strength has been great. So thank you guys for watching. I'll probably have another one of these up in about 2 or 3 days. I have this this upcoming week that I have to track as well. Thank you guys for watching. Again, the program is called Blue Eyes. Feel free to email me about online coaching, all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week.